Hello, everybody. Welcome to SMB3's third qualifier heat. I'm Troy of Athens, and joining me.
Sorry, I'm the Haxer. How's it going, guys? So yeah, we got a pretty good heat here for you guys today. Three actually really good runners. You probably heard of Mitchflowerpower. He's pretty decent at this game. He may hold the world record in this category. Also joining him in this one is TheLostLlama. So Llama was formerly one of the 10 best players in this category. I actually recently just bumped him, but he's a really good player, and he's capable of definitely taking that back too. And then MaCobra52, he's more known for his randomizer play for sure. He won the randomizer tournament that they held recently. But he's actually had some pretty good PBs in this category recently. He got a 120, and then 2 days later he got a 116. So he's making a lot of progress here.
And I have noticed that when I was looking at to figure out Israelite players, I know that I saw the guy you were saying that you bopped, TheLostLlama, right? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you said you bopped. That time has been there on that leaderboard for a year now. So
yeah, he does other games too, but looks like the runners are off here in 1-1, and Mitch is out quickly. Unfortunately, MaCobra taking a death there in 1-1. Yeah, just if you don't get that bounce off that Koopa, that you'll just end up in that gap sometimes. So we'll do some freezing here to sync everybody up real quick.
Yeah, MaCobra's now just getting out of the timing, and he's not able to get underneath the Koopa there, underneath the Koopas.
Yeah, so the issues he's having here, that's why it's an interesting debate on whether you should grab the power up in this stage just in case something like that happens. Because obviously it's rough to start out with a death, but he's good enough where he can still PB honestly in this run. So it's like
right.
He can definitely come back from here. Yeah, it looks like Mitch and Llama having no problems in 1-2, and actually Llama getting some great P speed here in 1-3. Gets the quick upgrade grab there.
Yeah, they're pretty much on some very similar pace right now. It's really right now just the race between Llama and Mitch, while Cobra tries to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had that setback. I'm not that surprised that they are going to be out ahead of him, but maybe this early is a little bit of a surprise. But as we've seen, unfortunately, with Cujo's run earlier in the tournament, sometimes top runners can, slip up to and have a rough go of things. But we get our first look at the first auto scroller in the game here in 1-4. Yeah, so it's going to be a challenge throughout this run, is just keep yourself occupied during these levels. You don't really want to stop paying attention and, accidentally take damage or fall off the platform and die or something, because that pretty much just ends your run. Or
yeah. Time loss you can not get back.
No, yeah, it's rough. This one's kind of cool. There's a couple 1-ups in it. If you grab all the coins, you can get a white mushroom house in this level. Also, obviously, they choose to grab the leaf here, the super leaf that they're going to use in the next level. But you can actually get some like sound glitches as well to occur with the 1-up grabs if you do some interesting inputs anyway. But as I mentioned, they're moving in the fort here, and this is where they're going to put this tail to use that they have. And instead of fighting the boom boom, which is much slower because you have to go through this elevator section and wait for this door to come up, you can just fly up and grab the whistle, which they're not going to use in the run because they do have to play all the levels. But it's kind of like an inventory obstacle.
Yeah, and so that it does end that level, just picking up the warp whistle. So you can just go on from there.
Yeah, exactly. Mitch getting some nice P speed here, maintenance, and goes for the tunnel, the swag tunnel. Does not get it there. Unfortunately, Llama taking a little bit of damage at the end of the level. There's a nice backup strat that he'll be able to do in 1-6, so not a big deal. And then we see MaCobra getting the nice leaf grab there. That's actually a warpless strat you generally see, but he didn't have a tail going in the fort, so because he went into the auto scroller small. So very nicely done with that backup.
Yeah, so with that, Mitch is going to pull slightly ahead because he didn't have to stop for the mushroom. But,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's worth noting in 1-6 that they have to do some really precise jumps there to make sure they get P-speed over that section. If you don't, you'll get what's called being frame ruled over the gap, where P-speed checks happen every 8 frames in this game. So if it happens over the gap, you'll start to lose P-speed. So they want to ensure with their jumps that doesn't happen.
Okay, and yeah, it seemed I mean, I'm not entirely familiar with that particular Hammer Bro or any really of the bros on the map, but it looked like they had similar RNG for that.
Yeah.
Is it possible to be in other spots other than those two at that?
Yeah, absolutely. In this category, obviously the bro can go up all the way from where it was at on their screen all the way over to the fortress. It can't go over the fortress, but it can go to that spot. And we noticed that Llama was able to actually grab the Fire Flower in the Hammer Bro fight, and that's just based on that square where that Hammer Bro he fought it. There is a Fire Flower upgrade in it. So he actually saves half a second there, because the way that fight works is once you grab the item in the bro fight, it's set to end the fight a certain amount of time afterwards, and normally you get like, you know, this animation when you grab the power-up state, but it still ends in the bro fight, so you don't have to wait for the animation like you do when you grab it on the airship.
Right, so Mitch and Llama still very close coming out of World 1 now.
Yeah, MaCobra's had a decent world from that point, you know, from the a few mistakes they made in 1-1, you know, it was pretty nice otherwise, so
yeah, I think that gap
kind of making his way through here.
Yeah, I definitely think the gap stayed pretty steady throughout the whole world. Like, he didn't really lose any more time than he did in like the second level, and in the first level, and that was it.
Yeah, pretty much. He did have a little trouble with 1-6. You know, of course, I mentioned the frame rule thing, and then it happens to him. So we noticed that the other two runners were able to get a fire kill on Larry, and MaCobra choosing to stop him. That's just a comfort thing. It is faster to fire kill the Koopalings, but you know, you got to be comfortable in doing it. And in a race, you definitely want to, sometimes you just sacrifice time saves for comfort, really.
And you'll see that right now, MaCobra's timer getting a little different there. That is actually MaCobra kind of got some muscle memory in there and split at the end of World 1. So he had to restart his timer.
Yeah, we'll just have to retime it at the end, I guess. It won't be a big deal. We should have a decent idea because they're all synced up, so.
Yeah, I don't think from here we really will need to change anyone's times unless the stream lags. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mitch getting the earliest P speed you can get in the fort there, that is a fairly significant time save over not getting in that spot, because if he misses it there, it's a 1.5 second difference. It's really technical. You have to land like right after the stairs, run as close to the dry bones as possible, do this like the smallest jump possible, and then, you know, jump again as close to the dry bones as possible to get that. So that's very nice.
Yeah, it looks like Llama missed a cycle there. I might be wrong.
I think he was just behind because he didn't get P speed in the bottom section, so that was basically the time difference. I think he was just having a little bit of like drop frames on the stream.
Yeah, I noticed the drop frames, and I knew that wasn't his fault. So.
Yeah. And MaCobra actually getting that early P speed as well. It's very nice from him. He did lose his Fire Flower. Unfortunately, in World 2, you don't really have much opportunity to re-grab fire. The next place to get it will be in the airships. So when you lose that fire prior to the fortress, it is unfortunately a time loss because you're able to fire kill the Boom Booms and save like 3 or 4 seconds on them. So you definitely want to at least maintain it to that point in World 2, and you'll see the power-up maintenance is going to be an important part of this run in general.
Now noticing this level, I'm realizing that I knew that they pulled Angry Sun from Mario Brothers 3, but I didn't realize from Mario Maker 2. But I didn't realize they pulled the Twister from Mario Brothers 3 as well.
Oh yeah, the Twister. It's like that's the only part that it comes into play is I think this level. I don't recall it appearing anywhere else. He accidentally restarted his timer, so just ignore MaCobra's timer. So yeah, one of the interesting things about World 2 is you kind of have to choose your path through the world based on what the Hammer Bros do, because you have to fight all the Hammer Bros and you have to play all the levels in 100%. And then there's the Hidden Bros that you have to hammer to get, the Fire Bros behind the rock at the top that we'll see them get. So you can kind of get some pretty massive swings in World 2 just based on RNG, probably like 6 or 7 seconds.
To fit the requirements, it's just every level, right? Like, you don't beat all the Hammer Brothers?
You have to beat all the Hammer Brothers and the Piranha Plant levels too, yeah. You gotta beat them all.
Got it.
Yeah, basically, for the most part, anywhere you can die, you have to complete. Exceptions are like, technically you can die in pipe transitions because they're timed, but yeah. Obviously, you don't have anything you actually beat in a pipe transition, so yeah, it's just basically entering and exiting levels and bro fights, and Piranha Plants are basically the category requirements.
Alright then.
So yeah, we actually see them choosing to skip past 2-4 here, and that is tactical, because what they're going to do is they're going to go back to 2-4, and it's going to give them a good boss pattern for the airship when they move from 2-4 to the castle. You'll get a very consistent boss pattern with all the routes in World 2, so people try to keep that consistent. So yeah, obviously I didn't mention it, but the other two runners made it through the pyramid, and we see MaCobra on that now. This is probably the most technical stage in World 2. It's very hard to do optimally, and all three actually did it pretty well. Like, I'd say he's going to be pretty happy with that. Obviously, he could have saved maybe, I don't know, 3 more seconds, but, you know, when you're in a race, you only get the one shot, so it's not bad. So you'll notice that Llama actually deciding to take damage in 2-4, that is intentional for him. There are certain runners that do that because it gives you an even better pattern here for this boss kill. So I think what we're going to see is he's going to go for the fire kill on the boss. And I did race Mitch last night, and I think his plan is just kind of forego this boss kill just because it can be a little tricky. It's like this boss and the World 6 boss are probably the two tricky ones in the category.
So yeah, currently Mitch is in the lead by just a hair. Like, it's not even worth mentioning right now.
Yeah, it's probably like, I don't know, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. It's really close. Well, and, you know, if he doesn't go for the boss kill and Llama does and gets it, then looks like he did, but then he missed the fireballs, so I think he's just gonna... Oh.
Yeah, and Llama's messing it up as well.
So actually, Llama got a pattern he wasn't expecting there. He must have been... The only thing I can think of is he was either slow moving to the castle, because that was the pattern after the one he wanted, or he was just slow ending the cutscene or entering the pipe or something. So looks like both runners unfortunately having to stomp him there. But yeah, we're gonna move on to World 3, and this is the water world. It's definitely an increase in challenge, I guess, over the first two worlds. Well, I mean, World 1's hard, but World 1's hard because you have to do it so optimally, because you just reset if you don't normally. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, it's just a different situation. But there's some really tough P-speed strats that you can do here in World 3, and I'll try to point those out when we come across them. Unfortunately, 3-1 here is not one of them. This is probably... It's not the easiest level in the game, because there's a couple levels you just P-wing over. You literally just fly over them, but, you know, for actual platforming, it's probably the easiest level in the game. So we see Mitch there deciding to move backwards on purpose, and that's so he's able to build his P-meter and get this P-speed here in this level. And it looks like Llama also gets it, and Mitch is able to make it through without taking damage, so that's great. Unfortunately, Llama overjumped that one cheap, and yeah.
Yep, losing the P-speed now is to ride the the moving thing for a little bit. Also has to wait for the fire plant, for round plant.
Yeah, so that's pretty big. When you get P speed there, it saves about 4.5 seconds over if you just make it through without P speed, without taking damage. So Mitch extending his lead a little bit more there. Also, Llama's, I don't know if he's going to opt to get the fire here or not. Because, yeah, it looks like he's just going to skip it. I think that's the right choice in this category because you just P-wing after the fortress anyway. So, you know, you're kind of wasting a lot of time to grab a power up, and you're probably just going to lose that time anyway that you save in the fort doing that.
Yeah, and I've noticed one thing about this run. A lot of it is just timing very well so that you jump off from one enemy hit to the next.
Yep. Yeah, so if you were looking at MaCobra's screen there, he just went through that cheap, and that just has to do with the when cheaps are at their maximum like velocity, I'm gonna say, like they sometimes just go right through you. It's like a speed thing, how fast you're moving. It was kind of like, I think it was Nintendo's answer to, if you've ever watched Mario 1, how you can just always jump on something as long as you're moving downward, like even if you run right into it, which is weird. So it's like they had this solution, but it's not a great solution either.
It's helpful, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it less glitchy, I guess, but also glitchy in a different way. But yeah, as I mentioned, he P-wings over 3-5 here, whereas Mitch decided to go up. I believe he chased down a Hammer Bro to do that, so you see a little bit of routing difference here as well based on what the Hammer Bros do. You definitely don't want them to run away, because the longer they stay on the map, each time they move after the completed levels, that's more time you're losing.
Right, because you gotta watch them move on the map.
Exactly. So basically, if he runs away at minimum after you complete 3-5, every level you complete after that, you're losing at minimum a second. So we see, yeah, he ran away on Mitch's screen. So Mitch is losing 1 second every level he completes that Hammer Bro is on the map right now.
So yeah, so this race is technically best of 1, but it's the top 16 of 18 racers that get in. So their time to beat, based on like the people who've gone already, is a 1:34, I believe.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, right now it's a 1:34.51.
Yeah, so because there are 18 competitors, as long as they get better than the 2 lowest times currently on the board, they're for sure gonna go to the next round. And so that time is 1:34 by IS Diesel.
Yeah, and you kind of want to do better than that because it affects your seeding as well. So you know, you want to put up the best time you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the placements of like where you are in this top 16 does determine where you're going to be placed in the bracket. It's not going to be based off the leaderboards on SRC or something. It is based off the times you get on during these seeds.
So we're seeing, if you watch Llama here, there's a very cool strat where you get PSP at the end of this. Very scary. That saves like 20 frames over going just the normal going under strat, and the going under strat saves like a second. So he saved like a second and a third over what Mitch did there, but you know, increases chances of death exponentially. So I mean, you'll see some people choose to go for that, and others like Mitch in this case just forgoing it because it's just not all that much time. Whereas if you die there, you lose a minute. So see, I don't know if you guys saw, but he misses a super swim there on Llama's screen, but we saw Mitch just hit it, so that saves a little fraction of time there at the beginning of the fort. It's kind of important in Mario 3, you know, in all these long categories, these little time saves, these little efficiency things that people do over the course of the run add up to actually a pretty significant amount of time. So yeah, we see MaCobra making his way out of the auto scroller, and he's had a pretty good run here since the early mistakes. Like, you know, he He's taken some damage here and there, but I don't think he's died since then, and he's just kind of kept plugging along, so they haven't really extended their lead too much on him from that point. And if he can stay this close to them, he's going to put up a really good time. I think he'll be happy with it. So yeah, we see both runners here exiting the 3-8 level, the last Boss Bass level. Boss Bass is an instant kill enemy, so if he does eat you, you do instantly die, and there's nothing you can do about it. We see Mitch executing a very nice H jump. Let's see those H's in chat, boys. And Llama also getting the H jump, so 2 H's there. That is the little H. The little H. It's just like a trivial name. I don't know, because it looks like an H.
No, it makes sense, and it does feed into a meme, so it's very nice to have.
Right? So, you notice both runners kept their Fire Flower throughout this world, which is really important. So Wendy's going to be our World 3 and World Boss, and she's much easier to kill with fire than she is a stomp, because her wand, when she fires it, it creates rings, and those rings stay in the arena until the fight's over. So if you don't stomp her, she won't create any more than the first ring. So we see runners choose to maintain fire and then just fire kill her. It's honestly a pretty easy fire kill. It's one of the easier ones, and it's pretty much the first one everybody learns when they start speedrunning the game, so.
What is Mitch doing?
He's just playing around. As I said, you gotta, have a little fun in the auto scroller. Yep, exactly. Yep. And we actually saw all 3 runners get the H jump there, so that's awesome. It's very big.
I know there's like a swag clip that you can go for in one of these airships.
Yeah, I'll point that out. It is World 6. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you skip like flamethrowers and stuff, so it makes things a little easier too.
Right.
So yeah, 21:16. I think Mitch was just under 21:10. So these are 2 really good runs going on right now between these two. Like a world record pace would be in like the 2040s, and that's, you're going ham in every level, and in a race situation, you're going to tone it back a little bit. So yeah, I think they're both probably pretty happy with their paces thus far.
Yeah, both playing it, I guess, relatively safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're still playing like very well, but I guess maybe it's like a couple things.
Yeah, it's safe for them, like,
right,
safe
exactly.
is relative. So yeah, both of them choosing to grab the shell here. I know in Mitch's case, he does it because he can just do this 100% consistent. Unfortunately, Llama, we're seeing a little bit of sub-pixel action going on there.
Yeah, lost the P-speed, yeah.
Yep. It's the worst, man. It's the worst. And we see a nice fire kill from MaCobra too, so he's out at, looks like 22:28. So he's about a minute behind them, but he was like probably 40 seconds behind in World 1, so he really hasn't gotten too much further behind.
Yeah, MaCobra's still playing very well. He's keeping his footing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, keep the pedal to the metal. Keep it going. So we see Mitch in 4-3 here. This is just one of the most aesthetically pleasing, that's the best way to describe it, I think, P-speed strats in the game. This looks very difficult. It's not easy by any means, but it looks harder than it is, while also being incredibly consistent if you do the jumps. Unfortunately, I think Llama just messed up one of the jumps there, but he didn't take any damage, which is going to be important in this world, because this is another world where there really aren't many fire flowers available, so you want to try to maintain that throughout. And we see 441. I think this is the hardest level in the game to consistently speed strat, and we see Mitch just do it absolutely perfect there. So kudos to him. But yeah, this and Llama pretty much the exact same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got hit. Did not
Yeah,
was not
right.
able to squeak by that thwomp there.
Yeah, he hit the ceiling unfortunately, and I jinxed him. So my bad. Sorry, man.
He got very close though. That was a very good attempt at it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take damage, at least he did it fast.
Yeah, he did it at the last possible spot to take damage.
And we see MaCobra in 4-3 now, and he's quite good at this too. He's actually a very good warpless runner, so this will be right in his wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah, maintaining the B-speed through that whole underground section.
So yeah, 4-4, you got to bounce off these Lakitus, and they're very consistent if you do the same inputs every time, but it's really hard to just be the same every time. You just have these little tiny frame windows, and then it also depends on how fast you keep going to the right, depending on what the spinies do as well. So
MaCobra is going on the 4-1 route, is gonna mess up a little bit, but chooses to end it a bit early there.
That was really good though. I mean,
yeah,
I think he'll be happy.
Ultimately. I think it was like he realized he lost all speed and then just kind of waited for a good.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, once you hit that wall, you just hope that you kill the thwomp, and then you're like, okay, at least I'll keep fire and then be relatively fast. We see 4-5, and this is one of the rare levels in the game where you don't get any P-speed. And it also has a fire flower that's pretty easy to pick up, so this is pretty much the standard backup fire flower level in the run. And I'll be interested to see if MaCobra actually goes for it, if he knows it's there, because I know he doesn't play this category a whole lot. He does play at level a lot because he plays randomizer, but obviously that blocks randomize in terms of what power up it gives.
And you might not necessarily need it at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's a
yeah,
bunch of factors going on during a randomizer.
Right? You're like, oh, this is always a star. All right, he does know. He knows. He knows.
The knowledge.
So yeah, Mitch is about a level ahead of Llama at this point, but there's a lot of stuff that can still happen. So it's obviously it's a fairly significant lead, but it can change in one level very quickly. So yeah, I didn't mention 4-6 as we're seeing MaCobra go through 4-6 here. This has got some really cool P-speed. Actually, there's a lot of cool-looking P-speed strats in World 4. I think a perfectly executed World 4 is like probably one of the best-looking worlds that you can do in Mario 3, just in terms of like each level just has its own little cool thing that you do.
Yeah, it's really showing just the mechanics of P-speed in general. It's shown very well throughout this.
Yeah, absolutely, and like just little mechanics in general, like getting the despawn of a piranha plant in 4-2 that allows you to get it earlier and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of it really tests a lot of your knowledge of game mechanics. I think, at least, you know, it's the first world that does it pretty extensively. So yeah, unfortunately, Mitch and Llama are in the most infamous level in the game, the World 4 airship, because this airship moves at half the speed of a normal airship. It's not too terribly long, like in terms of actual I guess physical length, but it obviously takes twice as long to travel this distance. So it's the second longest level in the game as a result. The World 7 airship is slightly longer than this one. Ooh, and we see Llama getting an airwalk there, a little bit of swag.
Yeah, you gotta get the swag in when you're waiting on these airships.
Yeah, for sure, man. Good time to go for it.
Yeah, and like, all players in the same level being said, but in reality, it's just because this stage takes forever.
Yep, exactly. So Mitch getting a good fire kill there. 28-34 is what it looks like. So yeah, he's still on a 110 pace at this point. So he's on kind of on the edge of it, but and needs a lot of help from that point. But definitely a solid 111 pace for sure. And we'll get to see Llama's attempt here at taking out Iggy. And yeah, good fireballs there. So Iggy down. It's a good part about 100% is you really only have to learn one pattern for every boss.
MaCobra just watching the leaf fall.
Yep. It's like, I don't want that.
Kinda need the fire for Wendy. Or not Wendy, sorry, whoever this. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
song?
Iggy.
Iggy, sorry.
Yeah, it's Iggy. But you kind of want to keep it for the beginning of World 5 here because that comes up so early, and there's really no quick way to re-grab fire in the beginning here. You can in 5 too, but it's not advised. So yeah, we see Mitch avoiding the Pit of Doom there in the lower section of 5-2, which if you fall in that pit, it's just a gigantic time loss. In most cases, you're almost better just dying and retrying to go the upper route. So,
and it's also a level where you're not, another level where you don't build P speed, but you're using the momentum of sliding. It looked like.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of like 2-2 in that regard, where that was another level they don't build P speed, but they use the slide momentum. And when you land on the hills like you saw Llama do there, you want to jump as soon as you possibly can to maintain that speed. So if you do it on the first frame, you'll maintain the maximum speed on those jumps. And if you ever the task do this game, the task does that all the time for, swag. So yeah, 5-3 is the next level that Mitch is going into here. This is probably the most, or it's the individual hardest level in World 5, I think. Just in terms of maintaining P speed, it's not super dangerous. Like, you're not at a great risk of dying, but you definitely don't want to take damage because then you lose your speed and you have to re-grab fire. And but he makes it through with P speed no problem, and so that'll be a nice little boost to the run. If you lose P speed there, you just lose a ton of time. And so we get to see Llama's attempt at it here. So the runner's taking a little bit different routes. You kind of have to route this world too based on what the Hammer Bros do. So, again, it's always, you just want to take them out as soon as you can.
Llama losing the P speed there.
Yeah, so now you get to see what I mean, where there's just really no place for you to regain it. So you just end up doing some platforming.
And
you took some damage there, but it'll be fine. Yeah, this is the one level where there is at least a fire flower right in your way. So. Yeah.
You're already moseying on, why not just grab the fire, I guess?
Yep, exactly. We have Mitch in the tower here. He did lose P speed in the second room. This is, I don't know, it's tough to maintain P speed in this level. It's one of the keys to having a really good tower, really fast tower anyway.
We see MaCobra attempting it right now as well.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see how well he does this, because I'm sure he just learned this recently.
He had it for a little bit, but then he just... Yeah, he had it, and then he he just missed time to jump, and then he was completely out of it.
That kind of looked like, he's done the strat. He's just not super familiar with it yet, so like, I think he just forgot where he had to jump, and I had that trouble too when I was first learning that level. It's really hard. There's a lot of jumps. It's hard to remember a lot of stuff. So yeah, Llama had a really good tower there. 279, not too shabby. And a 4 or a 5-4 looks really scary because you have all these platforms. If you miss any of them, you just die. But it's pretty free for most runners. And he gets a little swag jump out of the pipe to maintain P speed. That was nice. Also saves a little bit of time. It's all about that micro efficiency. So yeah, he gets the early P speed here in 5.5, so he's saving a little time on Mitch here in the upper section. So unfortunately, it looks like MaCobra's taking a little bit of damage there in the tower in that room, and that's a common spot to take damage. You know, you got to try to get to the end of that platform before you jump, or that thwomp just tends to reach out and grab you. So yeah, we see our two runners on the left side in the 5-6 auto-scroller. So this is the only level in the game with the parabeetles here. And they're enemies that can damage you, but they also work as platforms that float up. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty unique enemy.
They're a very fun enemy. I love just their existence throughout the series of Mario.
Right.
Especially the big
cool.
parabeetle.
Yeah, I like them.
Like the large parabeetle in later games. I know it doesn't exist yet, but the one that if you stay on it, it goes lower because it's just like it can barely fly as it is going, and now it's got this added weight of Mario, and it's like no.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Llama hesitated before he went in the pipe at the end of that auto-scroller, so there is actually a reason for that. For some reason, if you enter that pipe as soon as possible, sometimes you get squished by the screen. So you have to delay slightly to, you know, prevent yourself from dying and losing over a minute. So yeah, very nice fort from Mitch. Looks like he unfortunately had the dry bone spawn, which you hope to despawn that. So we'll get to see if Llama gets to despawn the dry bones. If he does, that'll be a nice little time save again for him. So he's picking up a little bit of time here. Yeah, he gets a despawn, so great. And it's worth noting that in the 100% co-op world record, Mitch died in that level that he just played. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
I love you, Mitch. You know, I gotta get that in, you know, because yeah, he's the one that died, and I didn't die. So yeah, he's entering 5-9, which World 5 is the first world, I think. Yeah, first world that we come across with that has 2 auto-scrollers in it. Thankfully, they're kind of short in comparison to the ones we'll see in World 6, but, you know, this is kind of an infamous level. You just, you know, stand on some platforms, take out a couple fire chomps, and just float up to a pipe. But it is also the only it's a vertical auto scroller, and it also side scrolls a little bit too. It's the only level in the game that does this.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of curious about like the programming of these platforms, because I can see like they're kind of like artifacting a little bit.
Yeah. So in randomizer, you have to keep the auto scroll on this level, otherwise it just doesn't work. And the weird thing is too that, okay, they keep it the same in randomizer, but sometimes the fire chomps in randomizer despawn the platforms. So there's some weird stuff going on in other levels, I think, that affects how this level functions too.
Yeah, like pieces were missing in different parts of the movement.
Right.
In like the exact same spots for Mitch's screen and Llama's screen as well. So like,
yeah.
Yeah, see, it's happening now on Cobra's screen, just like little like patches where the cloud just peeks into the platform. I'm like, what is happening?
I think it's kind of cool that I think he's caught up maybe a little bit, but if he hasn't caught up, he's just stayed the same distance here. So he's having a really good run, I think. for him. And we get to see Roy here on Mitch's screen. This is the first boss in the game that has the earthquake mechanic, which is when he lands on the ground, if you're standing on the ground, you'll get stunned for a brief amount of time. And that's kind of important because sometimes the enemies will just start jumping like crazy and you'll just get stun locked and they'll kill you. So thankfully, this is the easiest fire kill in the history of Mario 3. He just runs to the end of that platform and just takes 10 fireballs to the face.
Nice.
So yeah, I think all three will probably do this, but yeah, if we watch Llama, he'll get it as well. See, he just runs the end of the platform. He's got to jump over that one shot, and then he just stands there and takes 10 fireballs.
It looks like Roy struggles to like make the jump too. He's like bashing his head against that little ledge.
He needs to go on a diet. So yeah, that was a really nice 6-1 from Mitch, getting the P speed there. It's one of the levels you play in 100% that you don't play in any other category, actually. So it adds quite a bit of difficulty to World 6. I'd say most runners of this category agree this is the most difficult world in the category, just in terms of what you do execution-wise. There's more like... It's harder to have a good World 7, but that's because there's more chance elements. So yeah, and then we get a nice auto-scroller. In case you haven't experienced enough auto-scrollers over the last, like, 7 levels.
Yeah, it's fairly early into the world as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh!
Oh!
That's punishing.
6-3 is a P speed strat. Yeah, it's that. Unfortunately, with 6-3 P speed, it's very you have to be very accurate with your jumps. You're doing a lot of single tile jumps, otherwise you'll take a death. So unfortunately, you miss time one of those jumps, and sometimes you can get P speed in weird spots too, just based on the P speed frame rule, like I talked about in World 1. It also comes back into play here on this P speed.
Yeah, how's he gonna... Does he get some backup power-up sections that he can go for here? I saw him going for power-ups here. Or
he could do a couple things. He's probably just gonna... Oh, he didn't do the auto-scroller yet. So here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna grab the power-up in the auto-scroller, and then he'll grab the leaf in the fortress, because you damage boost in the fortress anyway. And we see Mitch doing a nice job of getting the P-speed there. He did those turn-back jumps to just be a little safer. He'll lose a little bit of time that he otherwise could have saved, but, you know, it's much safer doing what he did there. So yeah, and we'll see what I'm talking about in terms of the damage boost. So yeah, if anything, Llama doesn't have to do the scary jump at the beginning. He just kind of floats. But unfortunately, he did take the death, so he lost, you know, time from that as well. Pretty good fortress from Mitch. Meanwhile, you know, the other two runners just still in this auto-scroller. Never ending. It's never ending. So we got 6-4 here. There is a frame-perfect P-speed that looks like he's not going to get. I think that was a first frame jump. So it's frame perfect, but you got to jump on the second frame you touch that block, that wood block he landed on, or yeah, no, the ice block. I mean, after the wood block. So it's a very weird P-speed strat, and it's really scary when you get it, and it's all just for a 1 second time save.
And Llama going into Fortress only with the mushroom. So, okay, right, the leaf is there, but it's gonna be... Okay, able to make it.
Yeah, thankfully you get that leaf there. It's a little slower just because you gotta backtrack a little bit to get the leaf, and then, you know, the transformation times and that sort of stuff. Mitch actually having a really good 6-6 here. He goes through that wood block section really fast, and that enabled him to despawn the second piranha plant in the pipe section. So that allows you to swim through that section really easy. He kind of nicked the ceiling there at the end that he didn't want to do, but realizing that, he was like, okay, I just need to slow down and let the cheap jump. So yeah, MaCobra just taking the fort a little safe. Like, honestly, this isn't a bad race strat to just take it a little safe. You're just sacrificing a second to ensure 100% consistency. It's stuff like that that you just have to do sometimes. You know, you sacrifice time for consistency, and sometimes it makes a lot of sense. You just have to know yourself and what you're consistent at. And so getting a lower pattern here on the unfortunately, yeah, that's tough when you get that pattern. It seems like whenever you're small, you just get that. Of course, he gets it again. But he does it perfect that time. He just jumped into his forehead the first time, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a bit too early on the jump.
Yeah. So he'll get his shot at 6-6 here. This is a really cool level, actually. It's really hard because you're going in small every time you play it. So any hit you take is just certain death. And all the top level runners have like their swims calculated, so you see how he took that section so well. And he's got to get through that section fast in order to get the despawn like he did there. Oh, that's unfortunate. It was just like, he was a little low there, I guess.
And yeah, now the runner is taking a bit different level order right now. Due to Hammer Brothers again.
Yeah, unfortunately you gotta take this level before 6-5, so you just have to go into it without power-ups. Has a good one this time. 275 pipe is pretty much the dream. You can get there faster, but you do some crazy crap to do it that's not worth it. But MaCobra's caught up. He's still been very consistent, so he's having a really good run here. And Mitch is just kind of chugging along, already out of that auto-scroller, and so he's going to be making his way into 6-4-2, and he's going to put this tail to good use here by being able to fly through these sections. He's going to take some purposeful damage here in order to just even move a little faster, because when you have the tail, your airspeed is a little slower.
Okay, Llama messing up a few times there.
Yeah, it looks like both runners missing the despawn. And unfortunately, MaCobra taking some damage, but that's okay. He'll be able to grab the leaf in the auto-scroller. It's the first power-up in there, so it's not a big deal. You definitely want one going into the fort, though.
So now we just got Mitch in the lead with MaCobra and Llama very close.
Yep. Yeah, it's like basically a hammer bro fight between them. So yeah, Mitch is having a really good run here. He hasn't made any major mistakes at all, actually. He's just kind of chugging along at this 111 pace for most of the run. And okay, this is the easiest level in the game that he's entering now. This is all you do.
I mean, we are coming up on some big parts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the run's basically decided in the parts he's coming up on, so
absolutely.
This first level he's in, 610, this is one of the most technical levels in the entire game. So he's going to grab this fire, jump as soon as possible, maintain that P speed, and try to keep it through that section. He does it beautifully. Very nice stuff. And, unfortunately, I think he just kind of forgot his jumps there, and so he took some damage. He did want to maintain that to get the fire kill on the Boom Boom, but he'll be okay. He can just, stomp him, and it's like normal Warpless now. So yeah, we can see Llama's attempt here at the fortress. Oh no! Unfortunately, he thought he was going to make it on the platform there, and he didn't get quite high enough, and so he stopped flying, and then by the time he realized, it was already too late.
And Mitch not even trying for a clip there. Just goes straight into the...
Yeah, I mean, I think he feels pretty good about his run, that he's like, whatever, I'm not putting myself at any additional risk.
Right.
So yeah, we actually see MaCobra taking the lead here. He does take some damage on the Boom Boom, and that can come into play here in the 6-8. So we'll see how this shakes out here. Oh, unfortunately, due to the lag, the P-speed frame rule got him there. So, oh man, he just missed killing that guy too. So, a little slow there, but he doesn't take the death, and that's the important thing, is that he managed to stay alive, because this level's deceptively scary, and we see the same thing happen to the llama. Actually, it just is what it is. This level's weird. It's finicky with the lag at the beginning.
Yeah, it was Cobra outrunning a block at the end of the stage there.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it looks like Mitch did get the swag clip on the World 6 airship there.
Yep.
So now he's above. And so yeah, you see what he skips there. It's not too treacherous, but like, you know, it's a little safer. And it really doesn't hurt too much to go for. Yeah, right.
Because you're just like, where'd Mitch go?
So MaCobra bailing out there, which is good. He didn't take any damage. It looked a little scary there for a second, but let's see if Llama's the one that comes through.
Maintaining the P speed and is able to get the jumps through as well.
Beautiful.
Very well.
So
yeah, that was a very well executed.
That's exactly how you want to do it, basically. Like, I mean, everybody does the first part slightly different, but yeah, I mean, the result is exactly what you want.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So yeah, we see Mitch getting out of the World 6 airship here, making his way to 7-1. Chat, how many times do you think it's going to take him to clip into this wall in 7-1?
I know we'll definitely be counting. 1, 2. Does that count as a try?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 then. 5, alright.
The number is 5. I don't know where the count came from, but for some reason he decided to pipe up during the run, so...
It made sense. I'll let it slide.
So normally he would have firepower here going into 7-2, but now that he doesn't, he's going to do the warpless strat where he uses a star. And so it's going to be important for him to get this P-speed, which he does. And he's going to just have just enough iframes to kill that Piranha Plant. And so now he's able to maintain this P-speed throughout the rest of the level. Meanwhile, the other two competitors are on the exact same level. They're probably about 10 or 15 seconds apart. I think it's a little bit of a surprise that MaCobra is winning between these two. He's actually had a really great run brewing.
I mean, Cobra is a very good competitor, and I feel like his experience with Randomizer might help him to be able to improvise when he needs to.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that'll definitely help with his ability to improvise. He's also, he's a skilled vanilla runner too, and his time, I think he's at like a 1:16. Honestly, with his skill, he can probably do, I don't know, he can probably get like a 1:14, I think, pretty easily.
Okay, I don't think we have to count every clip, but it was fun to do for the first one.
So Mitch going through the maze here, and he grabs that Koopa shell in the first room to allow him to just clear through this room a little quicker, and then he grabs another shell here to then break this block, slide under real fast, and then unfortunately got like a slow fly there because he just rubbed a little bit, but he'll be pretty happy with that 7.5. That was a really good 7.5.
And Cobra now having a bit of trouble with this clip.
And he gets in.
I believe that was 5 tries as well.
And Llama,
yeah,
first
again the
try,
moonwalk.
mac and cheese.
Nice.
So all of a sudden, they're pretty much dead even.
Yeah, so MaCobra got it through on 5. Was moonwalking that, so that was cool. But yeah, Llama able to get it on the first try.
Yeah, that was beautiful. So yeah, MaCobra getting the nice P-speed there. This P-speed's a little trickier than Warpless because you take that damage on the Piranha Plant, and you freeze there for a second. I don't know if you notice that, but every time like you grab an upgrade or take damage, you just kind of stop for a second for the power-up animation to occur. So you have to have really good timing with your A presses and account for that.
I kind of would sing along to this, but we'd actually don't hear the music right now, so
right.
leave the chat to do it.
In my heart, I'm singing it. Okay, guys.
Oh, in my heart, I'm hearing Big John sing it. I'm not singing it.
So yeah, Mitch is making his way through 7-4. This is pretty much universally accepted as the worst level in the game. Because it's an auto-scroller, and it's a water auto-scroller. It's long, and also these cheeps where they spawn, it's random, so you can get some really bad spawns that make it almost impossible to make it through without taking damage. And you want to be able to maintain this leaf because it makes the piranha plant level a little faster. It also makes it so you don't have to cloud over the fortress and then do 7-6 p-wing it, then go back to the fortress. So just overall saves a decent chunk of time by not taking damage there. And yeah, as I mentioned, he's able to like float through that last section of this piranha plant level as a result of having this tail, and it just saves a little bit of time there.
Oh, nice. Gets the clip.
Beautiful.
Well, you gotta do the swag clips. Gets both swag clips in there.
Yep. And then you'll notice like he gets that really good P-speed build there in that room, so that's why he stops the P-speed build in the first room, is to get the nice P-speed build in the second room to save that little bit of time. And so again, as I keep mentioning, the thing that really sets apart the top times are these little efficiency things that these guys do, this attention to detail that you see. And, you know, 7-6 is just, this is a level in Mario 3, I guess.
It's almost like an Easter egg right there.
Yeah, the only category that ever gets played in is small Mario warpless, because you can't clip, and you obviously can't B-wing, but it actually is faster to cloud the level. Like, it's really funny. You play an extra level in World 3 and cloud that level, and it's like 20 seconds faster. So yeah, Mitch making his way through 7-8 here. There is a hammer suit in this level, and in most categories he would grab it, but in this one he chooses to go and grab Fire Flower instead, because it's just you want to be able to P-wing 7-9, and with the route he takes, it's just much easier to than do that. Because otherwise you have to like do the other level first, and normally when you're a top level runner and you're going for world record, you try to clip into a pipe in 7-7. So you can't have a tail to do that. I don't know if you might be able to do it with a tail, but it definitely would be much harder. I don't think you can actually do it with a tail. I don't think I've ever seen it happen.
And we just, you know, Mitch does the clip without us even talking about it.
Oh, the gap clip?
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know everyone needs to do it, but it still looks great.
Yeah, that actually saves about 5 seconds. So this is the clip I was talking about. If you clip through that pipe first try, it'll save 17 seconds over running this level, because it takes you right to the end. But he just takes one attempt at it, because, you know, I mean, you don't want to sit there and run the timer out trying to get that clip, because even if you set it up perfectly, right, it's a 1 in 7 chance of getting it. So that's if you execute it the best you possibly can.
Sub-pixels are fun.
Right?
And by fun, I mean not at all.
Not at all, man. Not at all. So, yeah, we're going to see 7-4-2 here. This is one of the hardest levels in the game, and he's choosing to grab the star, I think, is really smart. This is only 1.5 seconds slower than the normal strat on this level. If you maintain P-speed through, obviously he lost it there, so he's going to lose a little additional time, but still a lot faster than dying. And grabbing the star is a lot safer.
And Llama and Cobra finishing that stage at the exact same time.
Yeah, they're just neck and neck here. This is gonna be a photo finish. Taking the same route too, doing the exact same strat. Looks like MaCobra taking it a little safer.
Right.
Again, I don't really blame anybody for doing safety. You know, whatever makes it so you don't die. And yeah, he just takes that damage boost. He's like, I'm just getting out of this level. I don't blame him. He's gonna use another power up anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're about to use P-Wing, so it doesn't matter what you're at. But Llama actually not going to that level yet.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So he chooses the damage boost, which is ideally what you want to do there, because even though he loses time by taking the damage, the damage animation, he is going to save time overall by not having to wait for that Piranha Plant. And so we're going to see them both try to two-cycle this, I think.
And it looked like neither of them even attempted for the clip. They just kind of went to the next screen.
So MaCobra taking a slight lead there because he gets the two-cycle and Llama doesn't, so that was kind of cool. They're really well synced right now, and we're going to see P-Wings here coming out from both. Trying to figure out where that last P-Wing is, your inventory. Yeah. That's another thing that's kind of underrated.
Faster menuing.
Yep, saving a little extra time. It's a little unpredictable sometimes where some of these items are in your inventory. So when you're just bopping through and menuing quick, some items you can pretty much guess where they are, but others you just kind of have to scout out beforehand and figure out where they're going to go as you're using items.
And then we get Llama not attempting the clip, and then MaCobra attempting it, not getting it. So they're back to being even again.
Yeah, menu strats are underrated, man. Like, you save seconds just understanding where items go in your menu and setting your menu up in a way where it allows you to just do like one input and get to an item. So both we're trying to do the fast strat there, and Llama's gonna get it here. So he's gonna take a nice lead. Yeah, this is the strat that Mitch decided to not do. So yeah, he's gonna have a nice time save there over what Mitch did, but unfortunately taking some damage at the end, so he's not gonna get the fire kill. And they're gonna be pretty close to sync again, because if you notice, MaCobra just using the power up to the damage boost. And that's significant because there are two power-ups on Ludwig's airship, so you can just get fire back again.
Can I just say that using that P-Speed strat, that has way more swag than either of the two clips that Mitch did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's like that's one of the hardest strats in the game. The hammer suit and the fire suit strats in that fort, the optimal ones, are just insanity. So yeah, Mitch basically the entire auto scroller ahead here. So this one's about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So he's got about I don't know, he's got about 2 minute 15-second lead, I guess. And then this auto scroller, and it's kind of the land auto scrollers here in World 8, but this one's pretty long too. It's like 1:40 or something. I don't know. It takes forever. Yeah, but the thing about the World 8 auto scrollers is more than the other ones, you kind of have to, you know, pay a lot of attention because there's a lot more enemies.
Yeah, you want to maintain power-ups, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just not a lot of places here in World 8 to grab flour, and most of them just aren't very convenient too. The only convenient one's the 1 and 8 fort, and that's a long ways away. That's like, man, that is so long away. That's like 6 minutes away still. Yeah, so he wants to obviously maintain this fire flower, and someone was mentioning about the hands. So the hands do matter a little bit in this category because each hand animation you get costs 1.5 seconds. So ideally you do want to get no hands to save like 4.5 seconds, but obviously they rarely make or break a run. It's worth noting though that the world record currently has no hands, and then the former world record also had no hands, so
it's like the stars align.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just a way of trolling Mitch and Karua, because, you know, they're like, oh, you mean this category where the save's like nothing? Well, here you go. Here's no hands.
Yeah. Oh, I heard you're running 100% today and not any percent.
Mitch getting a nice swag wall jump there in the bro fight. He didn't get what we call rangless, which is the hammer bro doesn't throw the boomerang at all. So he's got to move forward and take the longest he possibly can to throw the boomerang. And you'll be able to kill him with fire before he throws it. It saves about 2 seconds. And I forgot to mention, but Ludwig is the second Koopa with the earthquake mechanic. I think he's, personally, I think he's a little easier than Roy in terms of his arena, so. Yeah, we have Mitch in the Navy. I'm not going to sing the song, though. But he is here. So yeah, we've got 3 runners now in autoscrollers. So guys, I want you to still get your guesses in. How many hands is Mitch going to get? And then I also want to know who's going to get more hands, Llama or MaCobra? Because that could matter.
Their max is 2. There you go. There's the proper guesses.
Mitch will get 1 hand. 1 hand is average.
There's
1 and 2 hands are average.
Mitch
Yep.
gets 1 right so far.
The no hands dream is dead. Poison curls is out. Oh yeah, let's give him 3
2
hands.
hands.
Let's give him 3 hands. Come on.
All hands up.
I mean, this is the one category where you get 3 hands and you just laugh. You're just like, okay, cool. I'm glad I wasted that crappy RNG in this.
Yeah. Is the RNG set from the moment you enter the game?
No, it's actually dependent on the frame that you cross over the hand, whether or not it'll pull you in.
Oh, okay. Well, he got all 3. And yeah, they do have to do all 3 levels, but they don't need to be grabbed by every hand. You can still select the level even if you don't get grabbed by the hand.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a good point. Getting 3 hands is the same chance as getting no hands, except you just got extremely unlucky instead of extremely lucky, so...
Nice.
I mean, it's still luck, right? It's just not the one you wanted. So yeah, he's making his way through the fast airship here, and this level is deceptively hard. I'm sure a lot of you that played this game as kids probably dreaded this stage because it just moved a lot faster than anything you were used to, and you had these guys on the screen, and you have to stay out in front of them to keep their wrenches off the screen, because otherwise you'll just see a screen full of wrenches coming at you, and it's hard to dodge them while also platforming.
And I would guess that would lag the screen as well a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there is some additional lag frames generated too, so that is a good point.
Like, I don't think you guys are considering in this level, because you are able to easily maintain getting ahead of them, but I'm sure some lag frames do exist.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, once you play that level a lot, it's just platform, but it's still scary. If you go on that level and PB pace, it's still scary. And Mitch, unfortunately, taking a little bit of damage here, getting the backup star there, which is going to help him make through this section here. But he's got to wait for it to wear out so he can bounce on this Koopa and get above here. So a little issue there in 8-1. It's just an infamous 100% level. Just put it that way. But he'll move on, and he's got a nice backup strat here in 8 too, so I think we'll see him pull that one out here.
And I believe both Cobra and Llama are working on 0 hands. I saw their
we got the last hand.
Their second hands, yeah. So yeah, Llama gets the third hand.
No hands. All right.
People can correct me in chat if they want to, because I did not see the first hand. I like spot. I'm not sure if it happened or. The second and third.
So Mitch is able to re-grab this fire flower in the fortress here, and it's going to be important for him to keep this now for the rest of the game. He gets some nice P speed there. It's not super easy to do, and now he's gonna. This will actually allow him to get the 2 cycle a little easier if he makes a mistake or something. So it's riskier in the first part, and then at the end it actually makes it a little easier. And then on top of being faster, of course. But yeah, it's going to be important for him to now maintain this power up because there's no other place for him to grab the power up for the rest of the game. And we see like Llama got a little behind there on the rocky wrenches, and we see him correct there, and that was very good. It seemed like he had like a slight moment of, oh god, but then he got things figured out. So yeah, there's still like, I don't know, 5-6 seconds between these two, and that's been for about 3 worlds now.
Yeah, this could still go either way between the two of them.
Yeah, MaCobra's definitely on PB pace right now, so...
Sorry, Haxer. What's the time to beat right now? I know.
For to get in the bracket, or
to bop you back or something. I don't know. Are you still just above him, or have you gone since then?
Oh no, I was talking about Llama. Llama, I'm like 10 seconds ahead of him. Nah, it's a 111. I'm a 111.06, so I haven't done my run in the bracket yet. I was just talking about the normal leaderboard, but no one's gonna get a 111.06 here. Mitch might get a 111 though. He's right on the cusp of a 111. It's either gonna be a high 111 or low 112, and it looks like a low 112 right now.
Yeah, and the fastest run on of this tournament so far is a 111.50. So
yeah, that was the Kubi. It was a very good run, and he even had to do some weird stuff at the end, so that he's not used to doing, and he still clutched it out. And then he went for the task clip in the castle on top of it. Yeah, I think Mitch is gonna finish this one off here, nice and steady. It's gonna be a really good run. It's gonna be like a. It could be like a 111.59, but I think it's gonna be like a 112.02. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Your guess is way better than what mine would have been, so.
I think it's going to be a 112.03, actually, is what it'll be. So get your GGs out, guys. Mitch killed off Bowser. All he's got to do is press up on the door now, and he'll be out of here. But we still got a heck of a race broom between the other two. Looks like a 04. Okay. Really good run. Really good run from Mitch. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. That was only 5 seconds slower than the run he had against me in a race last night. So, yeah, that was really good. 111s and 112s will win most matches, so...
Okay.
Yeah, we got the other 2 runners in the second last level here. Pretty much just, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds between them, so... MaCobra's on pace to PB by like almost 2 minutes. And the crazy part is he lost about 45 seconds in the first couple of levels, so...
Yeah, Cobra's just been playing really smoothly from after World 1. It just like, he had minor hiccups here and there. That was about it.
Yep.
No real heavy deaths. I don't think he died at all after World 1.
No, yeah, he hasn't died yet. I mean, he had some mistakes, but that's just gonna happen, you know. And especially since and we get the nice clip from Llama there that saves a second and a half. And MaCobra, he says, "I will not be outdone."
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he hits the ceiling there, and he recognizes it, so he just waits for the death waffle cycle there. It's very smart. Llama losing some P speed there, so... Oh, but he gets it back. That's very nice. So, MaCobra doing the P speed in the statue room. Oh, no!
Oh! You think that might have been nerves?
He just missed the input, yeah. Now this gets interesting. I think he's still going the PB, but he's got to make it out this time.
Anyone know MaCobra's PB?
Yeah, it's like a 116 flat, roughly. I think.
Alright. And yeah, now we gotta deal with a stat, like with a casual Bowser strat here, so.
Yeah, 116.23. Once he gets to Bowser, it'll be pretty elementary for him, but he's gonna be pretty disappointed by that. But honestly, from the way the race started to be at this point, he should be pretty happy with how this run shaped up just in general.
Yeah, he should be
clearly
fine getting a PB here.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly can do a 113, and so it's yeah, and his first tournament race of this category too, putting up a run like that, very nice. And GG to Llama, 114.20. That will put him right now in 4th place. Yeah, so Bowser's hitbox is actually only in his head, so you can just stand under him. Once he does that first jump, you just stand under him and he won't get hit by the fireballs or anything. So, nice little hitbox there from Bowser. I did forget to mention that, sorry guys, but yeah, MaCobra with the 115.35, nice PB.
And with that, it's putting Mitch at the number 2 spot so far, Llama at the number 4 spot, and Cobra, 5 spot, because I gotta factor in Mitch's time now, and Cobra at 6.
And looks like we are joined by Llama. I know Mitch was in here for a second. How's it going, Llama?
Hey, it's going all right.
Yo.
Yeah, so I know you probably haven't been playing too much Mario 3 lately. How do you think that run went? Yeah, just what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I'm very pleasantly surprised, to be honest. I actually thought it was going to be a bit worse because really I haven't touched this game since February. And I've only been practicing for basically today and a little bit of yesterday. So I mean, I had a few bad deaths, but I should be able to figure it out.
That run was really close to being like a 112. It was just a couple things really. And
World 6 is really the bad world.
Yeah,
I had a rough time.
Yeah, it all started with 6-3 there, kind of.
Yeah, 6-3 was the moment where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm a little rusty.
But yeah, overall, that was a really good run. You kept pace with Mitch, I think, through 3 worlds, well, 3.5 probably, and then he started to make a little separation in World 4.
Yeah, World 4 is where it started to become less close between us. I actually didn't realize how close it was between me and the other racer. I don't know his name, actually. MaCobra, is that his name?
Yeah,
MaCobra. What's up, dude?
Hey, GG's.
It was so close to the end there, you guys.
Yeah, you're like neck and neck for the...
I didn't realize that until I looked at the run, World 8.
Yeah, he was... Yeah, and I believe that is a PB for you, right, Cobra?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's one way to say it, okay.
I saw that death at the end of the castle. I was so sad.
That was heartbreaking.
I really face-palmed at that. Oh my god.
I will say though, Llama getting first try on a clip there.
Oh yeah.
I was
7-1 clip
Yeah.
too. Not only
You
the
guys
castle.
both got the Bowser castle clip too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that.
So
Yeah,
honestly, it was kind of interesting because MaCobra, he took the 2 deaths and won 1 right away. He probably lost like 45 seconds to start the run, and then he just kind of chugged his way back through the rest of the run. I don't think he died from that point, actually, except for Bowser's Castle, of course.
yeah, he maintained pretty much like a 1 minute deficit, like throughout almost all the way to like World 5 or 6.
Yeah. He definitely had a really good run.
Thanks. Yeah, other than his deaths, I mean, it wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of looks like you probably got a 113 in you. Just remove those deaths, and I mean, if you're putting that up in a race, you know, you're probably really close. Obviously, Mitch had a really good run. Low 112 is definitely a time that will win most matches, I think. What do you think
It's a
about your
very
run?
respectable time.
I think I'm gonna make a video about it because I don't think I've ever seen that worst Hammer Brother RNG in my entire life. As bad as it sounds.
Honestly, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I can't believe that was only a 112 because you didn't die and or really take damage at all.
Yeah.
I took a couple spills, like 610. 610 was really bad. I hit the
Oh,
side
yeah,
of
that's
the
right.
block, and I mean, if I would have went inside of it, it probably would have just, you know, been just as bad. And then 8-1 was not nice to me at all. I lost fire there, but yeah.
Oh,
I only had 3 movements of 1 until World 6.
wow.
And that's it. 3 movements of 1 until World 6, and World 1, the only thing the Hammer Brother did was go to the castle and come back. I've never seen that before in my life. That's all he did. Just to the castle and back each time. And
That
then
is
in
awesome.
World 4, I got a bunch of movements. I still didn't get a movement of 1 in World 4. I got 1 movement of 1 in World 5, and I got 1 movement of 1 in World 2, which was the Fire Bro, so that one's free. And then the free movement of 1 in World 3. Those were my movements of 1. That was it. World 6 was kind though. World 6 gave me a couple more.
It's
But
great
I had
that
never
you can actually count that on your hands. Like,
Yeah, that's horrible. So every time I did a level, I was losing 0.5. Well, I mean, if you're comparing against like the best possible outcome, but I mean, come on, you should be able to get 3 movements of 1 in World 1. So it was
Right. Yeah. I mean, I talked about in World 3 how that Hammer Bro staying alive, every level you're completing, you're just losing a second here
Yeah.
because
Oh, I got runaway too. Yeah. I think I
got a
lost.
runaway. Oh, god.
Yeah, I think I lost close to a minute from Hammer Brother movements, sadly.
Yeah. Well, that was a free 111 then. Like mid 111 maybe.
Dude, it
was
was
good
so
RNG.
close. I mean, almost 6 seconds alone just in World 1, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it
pretty
sounds
much.
like. It's pretty
Just
bad.
all. I was like, come on. On the last level, I was like, just give me the movement of 1 so I can at least get the fire flower from you. All right, you've tortured me enough. Nope, he wouldn't have it. Then World 2.
So that's why I was close to you for the first 3 worlds. Okay.
I mean, I really didn't make many mistakes. Like 3-2 was kind, 2-4 was pretty kind, 2-1 was weird. I get confused with 2-1 P-speed strat because when you do early hammer manipulation, you actually change what you do in that level, and it confuses me.
Huh.
I get all
Years of
flustered
doing
in
it
the
one
brain.
way.
Yeah, and then doing it the other way, and the other way's faster. So every time I enter it, I'm like, I should do it the early hammer way. And I don't know what happens. I kind of like black out, and then I'm starting 2-2.
So yeah, I think it was a bunch of good runs actually.
Those
for
are
all
really
you
good
guys. I mean,
runs.
obviously,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Unfortunate RNG, aside there, and some deaths, unfortunately, in the castle and stuff. But I mean, are there things that you guys are going to be working on going into the next race?
I am gonna actually play this game again for one. I'm gonna practice.
That's a good idea. I mean, I hadn't touched this game for a couple months either, and just doing a couple runs here and there just really helps out.
Yeah.
is there anyone like you're excited to possibly face?
For me, Cujo. If I could face Cujo, that'd be nice. But
Well, I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but right now he's 7th, and someone's going to get a real tough first round matchup and probably a real tough second round matchup in Cujo.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's kind of the surprise I think so far is just him being at 7th there. But obviously he's really good and can beat anybody, so it doesn't really matter where he gets seated. I think he can do well regardless.
It just means that whoever gets 10th place is going to be facing Cujo unless things move around. Oh wait, no,
Yeah,
actually
that's-
things
that's
did
gonna-
just
that's
move
gonna be
around,
tough.
so never mind.
I'm gonna guess that Cujo didn't really play much of this game, and that first race was his kind of like introduction back in, and he's probably done another 1 or 2 runs, hopefully offline since.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got if he just doesn't get those coin ships, he doesn't take the hour scroller death. It's probably a 113 or even a 112. So.
Dude, I had to dodge 3 coin ships in this run. I was so annoyed by that. No, first it was the double-digit 5s, and then 2 levels later it was the double-digit 6s. I'm like, why haven't I learned from my mistakes? It was a nightmare.
Yeah, I saw you have 33 coins towards the end of World 5 too, and you had 80 points. I was like, Mitch. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get 2 more coins here. He's okay.
Yeah, I knew about those 2 coins, but World 3, man, I had to dodge 2 coin ships in World 3 and run away, bro. Oh my god, dude, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Right on though. Good races, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, good races.
So-
GG's.
Yeah, any final thoughts from you guys before I let you go, and then we'll do the outro here.
I couldn't possibly get any worse RNG from here on out, so hopefully I don't mess up.
Hopefully, I won't die in 6-6. That's my
Yeah,
goal.
that'd be
next
rough.
run.
Yeah, that was a tough death to watch.
Yeah, that was so dumb too. Because the plant, I could have just pressed A one more time. I
Where
would've
was your
dodged
death?
it. I
You
just
lost
a
it.
plant. I just could
where?
have
What
hit A
level?
like in the 6-6.
Oh god, that level.
Yeah,
did
and I got
everything
the
perfect?
despawn too. I got everything perfect, and I just didn't dodge the plant, and I died.
Which one? Like it's still in the water, right? The 3
Yes.
the 3 pipe part. So is the second plant?
Yes, the second one.
Oh,
I
I'm
actually
thinking
managed to
different level.
despawn the third one.
Oh weird. Oh, the second plant. No, you got like
Yeah.
you got jebaited with the despawn. You got
I
the
know.
fake
I got too
despawn.
excited about the despawn. I wasn't
Oh,
actually
that-
looking at the other one, so I died.
Yeah, I think
It's like when you get the double despawn in 6-5, you're like, what the heck? Where
Oh,
did
yeah.
this go?
I think Haxer and I were actually confused about that death. We weren't sure why you took the plant death there.
Yeah,
it
because
was
you
a-
can't
that
you
was a
just walk
bad
on the
death.
ground there? You just walk.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
It happens.
so,
It
It was a
happens.
bad death.
I mean, either way, all 3 of you guys are going to be in the bracket, so congrats on that. Look forward to seeing your next runs, and it's very entertaining. So thanks, guys, for doing this for us.
Nice runs, guys.
So anyway, this is it for the heats today. We do have 2 more heats going on tomorrow. We have Heat 4 going on at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on this channel, and then we'll have Heat 5 2 hours later, also on this channel at 6 p.m. Eastern. And
Who's
then
in
on
those
Sunday we
heats?
have. Oh, that's a great question. All right, so we got Rupert 83, Pro
Ooh.
A 007, and Supersonic in the first seed, and I think that'll be a really competitive heat.
I think between Supersonic and Proa is going to be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And both those guys can PB, I think, by significant margins. So that'll be something to look out for. And then on Saturday, it'll be me and Dodge Master Dooley in our heat. And he can definitely PB by a pretty significant margin too. So be interested to see how he does. I know he's been doing some practice here. And then on Sunday, we'll have a Booba 7, Dave Lindo, and Oglib in a heat. And I think that'll be another really good heat to watch as well.
And that's it for the heats after that, isn't it?
That is it. Everybody will have their runs in, and we'll have the bracket figured out. And then next week we'll be starting the actual first round. So we'll have that schedule, obviously, when things shape up.
I'm gonna say also don't forget about the other competitions going on. SMS and Super Mario Sunshine just started up as well. I think like literally the same starting date as SMB3's tournament. So that one's been pretty cool to
Yeah.
watch. They have
Yeah,
their
that's
next
true.
race. Yeah, their next race is happening in about 2 hours on this channel, so you can stick around for that.
Hey,
Yeah, and they got a couple more tomorrow. After, like, there's one before the first heat and one after. So tomorrow's kind of a jam-packed day. So if you like Mario action, you'll get some 2D and you'll get some 3D.
I
Sounds
need all
good.
the Mario I can get. Never-ending Mario. Hey, it's a good introduction to the weekend, right? It's Friday. You guys should go and get your snacks, get comfy, come back, keep speedruns on. You know, watch the tournaments, man. Tournaments are fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Especially when you watch them from the beginning, because then you get to follow through along the whole thing and kind of understand where players come from and how much they've crawled to be to the top. It's really fun.
Yep.
Right on. All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Yeah, peace.
So yeah,
See you guys later.
That
Good races.
is it for us. Yep.
Peace.
Great races, guys. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more Mario 3 action. And we'll be back later today with more SMS. Have a good night.